Alabama is in a state of emergency. 160 tornadoes have ripped its power lines to shreds, leaving a nuclear power plant without power. To save it, they need to manufacture and erect 9 new transmission towers.
Gotta get this caught today!
It's up to a Mexican steel factory and a crew of daring linemen to prevent a disaster. But a freakish power surge brings the factory to a standstill.
I mean, this shouldn't happen.
Put your back into it!
After days without sleep, the linemen are beginning to crack.
Get out of here! We'll get it done when we get it done. We'll see!
Hurry up.
And 150 feet in the air, parts aren't fitting. Failure is not an option.
Oh.
They must restore power to the nuclear power plant. Alabama is in shock. A series of tornadoes have torn apart thousands of homes.
I just looked death in the eye. I opened the front door and there it was.
"300 transmission towers were smashed by winds of up to 200 miles per hour. Power company supervisor Chad Suttles is assessing the damage.
This is as bad as I've ever seen. We have over 800,000 people without power currently.
But one facility needs power restored more urgently than anywhere else.
This is Browns Ferry Nuclear Plant. We had a series of tornadoes that come through a few miles from here, which tore down our largest transmission lines, which is a 500 kV. It actually tore down all 7 lines that come out of this plant, which resulted in the plant being knocked offline.
At the moment, it's running on backup generators and an emergency power line. If they fail, it could be disastrous. TVA is in a race to build 9 new transmission towers to get the nuclear plant back on the grid. But there's a big problem. Chad estimates that by tomorrow morning, they'll have run out of materials.
We've contacted the manufacturers and told them that we need this material as soon as possible. So we're pushing them to work as hard as they can to get it to us.
Normally, it takes about a week to produce the steel for one of these giant skeletons. But the top brass at SAE Towers in North Mexico have orders to get the first tower out the door today.
I think it's a power plant, a nuclear power plant has been shut down, so we need to restore it as quick as possible. We need to do a fast track process. Jorge, you're the man, eh? Okay. You will manage this project.
Okay, we'll start right now.
Okay.
Working on it.
Right away, sir.
Okay.
The factory is state-of-the-art, and it has to be. Transmission towers are made up of almost 800 unique parts. It's easy to confuse the pieces, so a central computer loaded with the tower's design controls machines on the factory floor. This is where high-tech robotic plasma cutters meet Mexican grit. In charge of this critical order is Jorge Vasquez.
Let's see what happens.
His right-hand man is factory floor boss Sergio Salazar.
Es bien importante que estas piezas queden lo mejor posible.
The last phase of production isn't in the factory. The tower is constructed on site in Alabama. Junior bolts the parts together on the ground.
The faster we get done, the faster the towers get back up, the faster the power comes back on.
Then he passes the steel on to Marcus Thompson, who erects the tower.
Some people think they just pop up out of the ground.
These guys will run out of steel by the end of the day. They're relying on the Mexican factory to get them more.
Traemos toda la prioridad de TVA. Hay que seguir adelante y todo en orden.
Es todo por hoy. Adelante, suerte.
There is no time to lose. Extra staff are pulled in, and the factory is now running at full capacity. But there could be a problem. Sergio's running out of raw materials.
Hablando de esto, hay que darle urgencia a esto.
Bueno,
Supply manager Fernando calls the steelworks.
sí, el material tiene que estar el día de hoy en mi planta. Pero ¿cómo puedes decir que no va a llegar el material el día de hoy? Lo necesito inmediatamente.
Without raw materials, the factory will grind to a halt. And the nuclear power plant will be forced to rely on its backup generators. That could be catastrophic. 9 towers on a 500 kilovolt transmission line that feed Browns Ferry nuclear plant must be rebuilt as quickly as possible. Junior's lacing the first.
It's a 697 is what you need.
And Marcus starts erecting it.
Pointing your way. Let me know when it's good.
But then they hit a major problem.
It's off by 4 feet.
The tower is too big for its foundations.
Set her down. Set her down.
Someone's made a mistake. And Marcus thinks he knows who it is.
Hey, Junior. Yeah. What happened down there on the lacing the wrong tower? I can't. What the hell's up with that? Well, the problem is the stuff that got delivered was wrong to start with. Okay. I didn't know that. You didn't know that? No, I didn't know that. You didn't even think about checking it? No. We're going to have to do a lot better job than that next time because we can't keep that happening. You're not going to hold me up all day on this anymore. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. I'm going to fix it. It's going to be right here in a little bit. Better get on it. Fine. I'll get on it. Chop, chop. Yeah. Whatever. Blame me for... Let's get this off. Believe it. Got it? Out of it, Devin? All right. We screwed up on this panel. It's supposed to be a 32-foot extension. They brought us a 48. So now we spent a half a day lacing this. We've got to take it all back apart and start over. Put it all back together. Put it all back together. All right.
In Mexico, the factory is having problems with the supplier.
Sergio, bad news. I can get you all the material today.
Right.
The supplier have problems with the material.
We need the material right now.
I know, just give me one more day. Just one more day. The supplier has problems with the material.
Fernando, the material is...
I know, Sergio, it's an emergency. I know, I understand that. Let me talk to them again, okay?
I need the material right now.
Okay.
The factory is processing the raw steel at full speed. The first parts have been cut to shape. They're ready to be galvanized. They're coated with a layer of molten zinc. The zinc hardens and reacts with the air to form a layer of zinc oxide. This will stop the steel from rusting.
Se trabaja en las temperaturas de 450 grados, pero todo en perfección.
But no one expects what happens next. A power outage. Every machine in the factory stops.
Hay que movernos. Rápido.
Sergio heads for the master fuse box.
Sergio, what's happened? I don't know. I don't know what is the problem.
The furnaces are out. It will take an hour to get them back up to their operating temperature. But that's not the major concern. The zinc is cooling at a rate of about 1 degree a minute. In half an hour, it will harden in its trough, ruining the galvanizing system.
Adelante. Seguimos checando el corte.
ese problema
Tenemos que esperar un minuto a que se enfríe.
I mean, this shouldn't happen because we're on a schedule, and I mean, it's pretty tight schedule.
All Jorge can do is wait and hope.
Let's see what happens.
The fate of a nuclear power plant hangs in the balance. On site in Alabama, Marcus's tower is taking shape.
Let's get wet.
And Junior's making up for lost time.
Bring me steel! Bring it! Bring it! I'm not right here. Come on, come on, Dad. Out of it! We're almost done. We're waiting on him. He's got to move that piece out of the way so I can lace that side.
Junior can't finish lacing until Marcus has lifted the giant middle section out of the way. But Marcus's guys are busy working on the tower.
Hey, Anderson, you gotta get this caught today.
His crew can't get the 8-inch bolts in.
God damn. Hold up is the tower's having a hard time getting it boxed in, squared up. Hey, so you getting this out of here? Huh? You getting this out of here?
Yeah, we will.
How soon? Quick, slow. I'm waiting on you.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get it done when we get it done.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Bring it.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, get out of here. It's not going to build itself.
The bolts won't go in because the tower is not quite straight.
Want it right there on his side? It needs to come over here.
The pressure's on Marcus to come up with a solution.
Moving.
He tries to force the tower back into shape with ropes pulled by vehicles.
We got to pull the corners around and try to get one side lined up, get it caught, move to another corner, and we'll pull on it.
While the trucks pull, the guys try and get the bolts in.
Come on, you can catch it. Put your back into it. There you go.
Marcus has done it.
Wish the mother...
They're still on schedule to finish the tower tonight. It's critical that they have fresh parts in the morning. In Mexico, the power is still out. The zinc will solidify in 10 minutes. They must restore power before it's too late.
Es una sobrecarga, espérame un minuto porque hay que esperar a que se enfríe el interruptor. Está bien. Okay. Adelante.
Parece que el problema ya está resuelto. Vamos.
They've reset the master fuse, but the power in the factory still hasn't come on.
Como quiera, aquí estamos esperando la instrucción. Los muchachos ya apagan las máquinas y vemos la instrucción que nos diga.
Sergio has an idea. The factory has a bank of subsidiary trip switches. They all need resetting. Success. And the zinc pool is saved.
We suffered a big disaster. One fuse was broken and all the factory was down. Right now, the pressure is big and we need to return to the original schedule.
The factory is back in the race, but Jorge and Sergio have only 2 hours to get the first batch of parts out the door. At least the truck is here. But its payload won't be allowed into the factory until it's been vetted.
¿Qué lo podemos checarnos por aquel lado? Buenos días.
¿Qué tal? Buen
¿Ya
día.
está el material? ¿No?
Está todavía en revisión, Sergio.
¿Pero a qué horas me van a decir?
Quedando listo, esto debe de tardarnos un par de horas más o menos.
¿Un par de horas?
Un par de horas.
Necesito el material en 30 minutos.
Sí, Sergio, pero necesitamos asegurar de que esté todo dentro de norma para poderlo procesar.
No, pero ya lo requiere el material, es una urgencia que tengo que procesar.
Entiendo perfectamente tu urgencia, pero el material tiene que ir bien, Sergio.
Bien calibrado.
Sí.
Sergio can't afford to let any steel into the factory unless it's perfect, so he lets the inspectors continue. Everyone is fully aware how important it is to restore power to the nuclear plant. Just a mile away, the linemen have nearly finished the first tower. They've got one more section to erect, but this is the most difficult part of the whole build. The top section has to be lifted 100 feet into the air and bolted by hand.
Some people think they just pop up out of the ground.
Let me know when you're good, Chuck. I'm booming down, holding his load.
It's not a job for the faint-hearted, but these guys are professionals. The crane driver has to precisely suspend the 90-foot wide section over the join.
Chuck.
But it's not working.
Oh.
Yep. This girder here caught pretty good compared to some.
Yeah.
The tower's built. Eric Lawson unhooks the crane.
Watch it off.
Hell of a job. Thank you, sir. 8 more to go.
But they can't start the next tower because they don't have any more steel. In Mexico, all 800 parts for the next tower are ready. But there's no truck to load them onto. Jorge must get the parts to the border before nightfall. If he doesn't, customs might not let the steel into America until morning.
Salí rápido, güero. Ya para mandar este camión. Ya para acabar.
The truck's here. Now the race is on.
I'm really pissed off. This shouldn't have happened. We should have dispatched this truck 15 minutes ago. ¿Cuánto le faltan paquetes por embarcar? ¿Cuánto te faltan por cargar? 15 paquetes.
Ya puedes entregar los papeles, ya va a empezar a amarrar, chavo. Gracias.
Bien hecho, señores. Bien hecho, güero.
It's now up to the driver to get the parts to Alabama on time. Everything depends on him crossing the border before nightfall. It's morning in tornado-ravaged Alabama. Junior heads for work, hoping that fresh steel will be waiting for him. It's here.
So we'll just make sure we can get that second side.
But he hasn't got time to celebrate. He's got another tower to lace.
I like this one better already.
And the guys in Mexico can't stop either. Every 24 hours, they must dispatch the parts for a new tower.
Necesitamos trabajar arduamente 24 horas, 7 días a la semana para poder salir de este problema.
For the next week, both teams work around the clock.
Get to work at dark, leave work at dark.
Marcus's crew averages less than 4 hours of sleep a night.
No blue. Hold that.
Keeping up pushes the factory to its limits.
Vamos a apurar a los muchachos para que sigan trabajando.
After 7 days of sweat and toil, the towers are fabricated. And Junior laces the last one.
Hey, you're done. I'm done. It's yours. You can have it. I'm done. It's yours.
Done?
Take it, stick it up your for all I care. I'm out of here.
Since the attitude, we'll just do another one.
Attitude. You love the attitude.
I love it.
Yes. Good work. Good work. Woo! Chop, chop.
And he's earned the respect of his boss.
Junior did a hell of a job. Real happy. Pressure was on, he drove it into overdrive. But that's what we expect.
Finally, the last transmission tower on the crucial line to the nuclear power plant is up. But there are still no cables to carry the electricity. Miles of thick aluminum rope has to be threaded. Ace chopper pilot Steve Chilton, aka Hacksaw, is ready to do his part. But it's extremely dangerous. Men have been killed doing this job.
Taken four to the ground. So it can happen. It can sure happen.
The linemen attach a rope to Hacksaw's helicopter. And he threads it through the towers. The rope is then used to pull the cables. But to get the electricity flowing, the new cables need to be joined back onto the old line. It's done by placing an aluminum pipe around the join and wrapping the whole thing in an explosive sleeve.
We're just joining two pieces of wire together, making complete connection.
Normally, dynamite blows things apart. But in this instance, they're hoping it will fuse the two wires together. It's worked. The quickest way to join two cables together.
That's the finished product. Everybody's done a great job. We've got this line up a lot faster than we thought we'd be able to.
Power is now flowing to the nuclear plant. In total, thousands of TVA's employees, supported by countless others like the guys from SAE Towers, work tirelessly to rebuild the grid. Nations pulling together to help Alabama in her time of need.